There are a lot of videos on the internet about tying scarves that, in my opinion, are great, but that also require some sort of science degree. You know the ones I'm talking about? If you're looking to turn your average silk scarf into an evening dress or some sort of crazy blouse, this video is not it. Today, I'm sharing 5 of my simplest and easiest ways to style a silk scarf during the summer. If you like this kind of video that helps choose creativity instead of consumption, then hit subscribe or keep watching to see if you like this channel. My name is Alyssa. I talk about slow fashion on the regular, shopping your closet, and just getting creative with what you've already got. So let's jump on in. I'm using 2 vintage scarves. They are 100% silk, but you could achieve this with a cotton or a blended textile too. The Gucci floral scarf is 34 by 34 inches, and it's a heavier weighted silk. The red and white striped scarf is also vintage. It's 30 by 30 inches, and it's much lighter, almost a crepe silk texture. One of my favorite ways to wear a scarf as a top is just a simple halter top style. This one you don't have the ability to wear a bra, so this is for my small-chested ladies, anyone who loves to feel a little bit freer in the summer. It's so easy. You just tie a knot at the nape of your neck, adjust the collar as you like, and then tie a knot around the lower part of your back. You do have to adjust because there's going to be a lot of excess material along the bottom at your waist. If you do find that there's too much material around your waistline, I like to fold 2 parts of the sort of scarf top in to your center and then tuck that underneath. Because the bottom knot is so tight, the material actually does hold this way and it creates a more streamlined and tailored fit. In addition to just styling your scarf a whole bunch of different ways, you can get kind of tired of that pretty quickly. So here I wanted to show you what it looked like with a high contrast, worn with a black trouser and worn with something a little bit more low contrast and monochrome, like with my pink skirt. So I'm wearing this red and white scarf, stripes with pink, which when the red and white are paired together so closely to pink, it almost comes across as a monochromatic look. So this goes way beyond just styling the scarf as a top, and we're starting to implement more elements of style together so that hopefully you're getting more wear out of your scarves, but also out of your closets themselves. I also wanted to show what this looked like with the Gucci scarf, which is a thicker silk, so you can see the neckline rides a little bit higher, so you might have to do some more adjusting there. But I also wanted to share how a huge difference is achieved when you choose your scarves based on the overall look you want. So here I'm using it to create a monochromatic look, more tonal, with a little bit of color. Scarves aren't just for, styling in a basic way. They can really become a huge and integral element of the outfit when thinking of color and texture. Next is styling as a tube top. This one can be used with a strapless bra. I tend to go for an actual strapless padded cut bra versus a bandeau. I tend to like the padded bras a little bit more because I prefer the shape they give under the scarf. It almost ends up looking more like a bustier, so it feels to me a little bit more finished. To create this tube top, it's super simple. You're gonna fold the scarf in half as a triangle. I like to make sure, depending on the print of the scarf, that the majority of the print will be showing, and I like to make one side of the triangle longer than the other. The next part could be a little bit tricky, but I do like to tie the 2 ends of the triangle with the long point coming down my front and torso. I like to integrate those into my bra if possible. So that way you're using your bra to secure the knot as well, and at the same time, you're covering up your bra with the knot. I don't make anything fancy. I personally don't like a big bow because if I'm sitting back on a chair or anything, it's uncomfortable. So instead, I take the extra pieces once I've tied the knot around the bra and I just tuck them overall into the fabric so that it's flat against my back. Now you've got this really great tube top. You can sort of tuck the top sides of the scarf into your bra. This is why I like a padded bra, because again, it's giving us that nice sort of finish finished bustier look. And you can choose if you want to leave that point of the triangle down, hanging over the trousers. This is a really nice one if you don't like to accentuate your waist and you like to create some nice long lines. It's a beautiful break in the body that creates some very interesting and dramatic proportions. Or if you want a true sort of bustier fit and feel, then take the bottom end of the triangle and simply tuck it up under the band of your bra. It feels like there's a lot of fabric tucking, but it's actually quite comfortable because it's silk, and if you've got the right strapless bra that is comfortable to begin with, then this is a really nice and easy and effortless look. Okay, around the purse handle. There are two ways that you can do this, and I think it also depends on the purse. I like to consider two things: high or low contrast in terms of color, and then the way we're tying the scarf in comparison to the size and feel of the bag, and what I'm looking for in terms of the feeling for the overall outfit. For example, with this outfit, it feels kind of beachy and easy. I want to wear my basket bag, but to add a bit of color, I'm going to use the Gucci scarf because it'll add just these subtle hits of color. So I'm going to tie the scarf really easily. I'm just going to do a little loop on one side and pull the other piece through, just a very simple knot, and I'm going to let it hang nice and loose and flowy. So it's really picking up on the vibe of the flowy trousers. It's adding a little bit more of a flowy summery feel to the tailored trousers and the really polished belt. So it's playing nicely with the bag. The other thing that's important about how this scarf is long and lengthy and it's taking up a lot of volume, it pairs really nicely with the size of that bag. I, for example, wouldn't do this type of knot of scarf on a very short purse or clutch. I don't think a small purse can handle that length and flow of the scarf. For either of the tying around the bag handles, you're going to want to put the scarf into as much of a long rectangular or tube shape as possible. I am not precious about this. It will not be perfect. Silk is really slippery. So again, don't beat yourself up if it's not like a perfectly perfect rectangle. It's gonna move. That's what happens with material when you're manipulating it. So I just lay the scarf out flat and then I fold it in on either side to sort of reduce the triangles, if this makes any sense. So I fold in one side, I fold in the other, and then I repeat this a few times until I get sort of a long rectangular tube. I do this for the long, easy knot that I just showed you, and I'm gonna do it for when we wanna wrap the entire handle of a bag with your scarf. I would recommend doing this with top handle bags that are stiff and have a lot of structure to them. You could also do this on a more floppier top handle if you wanna give it a bit more structure, and then tie the other end as well. I've done this on the tan bag that I have here, and I wanted to show you what it looked like with, again, more of this monochromatic sort of tonal color palette using the wheat and the oak colors. Leather can be very visually heavy against summer fabrics, so if you want to lighten up a bag, just try adding your silk scarf like we did here. When I'm feeling, I guess, really like I'm on vacation, I like to wear a scarf in my hair. Fabric choice is really important here. I'm going with the red and white stripe scarf because it's got more of a crepey texture, and in that case will have more friction against my hair. I have no tips and tricks here other than folding the scarf into a rectangle or a tube as much as you can, just like we did in the other examples. But I try to put the scarf a little bit further back, like up the crown of my head, behind my bangs. Again, I'm not precious about this. I leave them out. If they're falling out, that's fine. I can adjust it later. But I put the center of the scarf on that part of my head, wrap it around the bottom, flip my head upside down, and then I'll tie the bottom that way and then adjust as needed. I personally like it when there's hair kind of coming out in the front of the scarf because I think it's just a little bit more natural and easy looking. And again, because the texture of this scarf is a little bit rougher, it actually does stay in my hair this way quite easily without the use of bobby pins. I also love to wear a scarf in my hair when I'm wearing a ponytail, and the process is exactly the same. Put it in a rectangle, put it at the top of the crown, maybe showing a little bit of your bangs, a few hair coming out the front, and rather than tying the knot at the base of the neck right away, I crisscross the two ends of the scarf and I tie the knot on top of my ponytail. So again, this is both hiding the elastic elastic and securing the scarf all in one, okay? This is what laziness gets you. This also works with a little ballerina bun. Actually, if you want something that feels even more secure, then do your ballerina bun first, or your top or your low bun first, and then wrap the scarf around that, do a little knot, and away you go. I do find this lasts all day without the use of bobby pins, but scarf texture, again, don't sleep on that. Finally, you can also easily style your scarf as a belt. I typically don't do this because it's just not my style vibe, but I wanted to show it because I think when you're traveling, or if you're in a bit of a style pinch or feeling really uninspired, this can be a nice way to dress up your denim in particular. And I also think a lot of you enjoy like these really fun and colorful and interesting looks. So if I were to do this, this is how I would do it. First of all, if you're just taking a look at my outfit as a whole, let's just quickly talk about styling and which scarf I'm using and why. I'm gonna use the Gucci scarf because it's more subtle. This blouse is already quite feminine and frilly. These jeans are a wide leg, so visually there's already quite a lot of interest happening in this look. I personally don't want to draw a focal point using the red scarf. I want this to be a little bit more sort of harmonious and nothing too bold about this look. So I'm going to put my scarf into the rectangle shape. I'm gonna loop it through the belt loops. Then instead of tying it right at the center, which I think can feel really bulky and can kind of just look a little bit messy, especially because I've got this shirt tucked in, what I'm going to do instead is pull the scarf through to the second loop so that the knot is going to be a little bit off center. Similar to when I tie a silk scarf around my neck, I'm going to make one full loop on one side and just pull the other end of the scarf through. This way I can adjust it. Both ends fall pretty easily flat against my legs, and there we go. So that is what I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope it gives you some tips on how to style the silk scarves you've already got at home. If you like this kind of video, give it a thumbs up, or even if you just learned something new, hit subscribe if you haven't already. I'm so grateful that you're here. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or evening or wherever you're at, and I will see you in the next slow fashion video. Ciao.